humans. This is an adoption campaign, but it's not for me or Mr. Buttons or Frank over there. It's for you, humans. This is a call to humans to adopt our movement, to adopt our cause.
This isn't just about saving one of us.
It's about saving all of us.
Thousands of lives, every single day.
It's about support for every one of us four, and sometimes not four-legged best friends, waiting to meet a best friend of our own. With Best Friends Animal Society leading the charge.
Shelter by shelter, city by city.
We can save thousands of pets each day. Join us. Together we can save them all.
Thank you for joining us for Pet Connect. I'm Tara Douglas. Today's going to be a special episode of Pet Connect about the season of giving. With Thanksgiving tomorrow and Christmas right around the corner, everyone's thinking of ways they can give back to the community. So we're going to give you some ways that you can help the animal shelter and help the Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill, our local nonprofit that helps the shelter. And I've asked my husband Jonathan to join us today so that we can discuss different ways to give back to the community. So Jonathan, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Glad to be here.
So we're going to start with talking about ways you can help the shelter directly. So we'll talk about dog walking. So we've got our dog walking on Saturdays from 11 to 1. But keep in mind that you can come and walk the dogs any time of the week. We had Jay Bunt on here last week. She is a kennel tech at our animal shelter. And she mentioned how much that does help them because the shelter is always full. And that helps them if you come by and walk some dogs and get them out of the kennel. So
we need more people walking dogs, and we need some people who are interested in being trained to help get dogs out of kennels too, because there are really only 3 or 4 people who do that. And I know I lose my wife on Saturdays because we need more people that are willing to be trained and are capable of helping get the dogs out, because we have people show up for walking, but the thing you don't know is that inside the shelter, Tara's grabbing dogs frantically, trying to get a leash on them and get them out to you and then put a dog up. And so we need some kind of way of training.
And we do have some really good walkers. We have wonderful people from the community that come almost every weekend to walk the dogs. And like Jonathan said, we've got several people. It's not just me going in there to pull dogs from the kennels. We've got several people who have taken that extra step to learn what it takes to go in and get a dog out of the kennel. So if you're interested in coming out to walk and you're interested in helping to get the dogs out, then we could all use that. I have some, like I said, some wonderful people that are doing it, but we can't all always be there. So that is one thing that we really need. And just getting these dogs out of the kennels every weekend, it helps so much because they're calmer, we get more information about them, and it's really good for the dogs, and it's good for the shelter staff to have people come to help, and it makes those dogs more adoptable in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and you wouldn't believe how many people come and walk a dog and then they say, you know what, I have a neighbor that would love this dog. And so yeah, it's really important to come and get them out. They're just totally different animals.
And this is Pistachio. This is a dog that you can come and walk with us. Pistachio is about 1.5 years, I believe, and she is just what I can describe as a perfect dog. She gets along with people. She gets along with other dogs. We have taken her to every event lately. You can kind of see that she's wearing a pumpkin right there. So she was at the Horses and Hounds Halloween Hoopla Parade. But every time we get the dogs out for any event, Pistachio was there, and she is often in the office greeting people. So she is just a perfect dog, and I would love to see her find a home. So if you are interested in adopting, Pistachio is a lab mix, and like I said, we'll have to walk her through the cat room. I don't know if she gets along with cats, but other than cats, I know she's perfect with everything. So let's find her a home. So tell people about her, share information about her. The shelter posts about her. Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill and a lot of the volunteers post about her. So that's another way that you can help find these dogs. You know, Jonathan mentioned when you're walking, you'll think of dogs and neighbors that are looking for dogs and dogs for those particular neighbors. But you can also share the posts that we have on Facebook. That is a tremendous help because you never know who you have that's a friend of yours on Facebook that would love to adopt a dog. So come out to meet Pistachio for sure, and all of them. And not just just dogs. I talk about dogs so much on here, but there are cats at the shelter too. We've got plenty of cats there that are available. And a lot of our people will come on Saturdays and ask if they can just go in the cat room and pet cats. And that is also a big help. So that's
anything you can do helps. I mean, the main thing is if we get these animals fixed, of course, and they're not there, it'd be amazing. But otherwise, any little thing you can do is helpful. People think they have to do something big and amazing. You really don't. Just any little thing. But even sharing a post, because we've had animals go to people that we never knew, and they just call and say, hey, I saw that. So it's anything you can do is helpful.
And then just as Jonathan mentioned about about getting your dogs fixed, we are having another one of our spay and neuter voucher sales through Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill. That's going to be December 6th. I'll have more information for you next week on Pet Connect. We'll have our normal hours. We'll start at 9 a.m. and we'll have the vouchers there until we run out. So make sure to come to Pet Sense on Highway 280 and line up early so that you can get in there. These vouchers will be $30, and that's for a male dog, a female dog, male cat, or female cat. So it's an incredible deal. They're for Alabama Spay and Neuter, so you can either drive your dog or cat up to Irondale to them, or they do have once a month transports that come down to Home Depot parking lot. And it's pretty simple. Jonathan has driven some of our dogs and cats that needed to be fixed through the rescue to that drop-off point.
Yeah, it's very easy. You just meet at Home Depot early in the morning and it's chaos, but you drive up and they have a form for you. You have to be up to date on your rabies.
So you do have to pay for rabies if you have not done that. So you have to show proof of rabies, or they can give your animal a rabies shot, but there is an extra cost for that. So keep that in mind. And as Jonathan said, it's chaos, but it's organized chaos. They are a well-oiled machine.
It's amazing. You just drive up, they hand you a sheet, they say drive up there, you stop, you put the crate into there, or they have crates and they say come back on Wednesday or whatever it is, and then you come back, and it's amazing how many animals they can move, and it's amazing how many animals are having to move to get this done.
Absolutely. And so if you need a voucher, December 6th is our next voucher sale. That is another way you can help out. Or if you are feeding a stray dog or cat and you're willing to invest in the $30 voucher, that's a way you can stop those dogs and cats from from continuing to breed. Or you can contact us at Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill to find out if there's any way we can help you if it's not your dog or cat, but you know they need to be fixed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
if we can just grab one female cat, then we've done something amazing.
Absolutely. And also speaking of female cats or cats in general needing to get fixed, through the Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill, Mitzi Martin does our TNR program. That is our spay neuter release program. And she is doing an amazing job with that. I believe she's up to 700 and something cats now that she has trapped over the last few years. But if you ever are interested in helping her trap, she very often needs help with checking traps and pulling them and things like that. So you can contact us at Feral Dogs of Avondale if that sounds like something you'd like to do. So there are quite a few ways to help.
And actually, my dad loves to pick up things on the side of the road, but he picked up a metal crate, and then Tara's mom trapped 2 kittens they're going to get fixed, and she called me and said, "Do you happen to have a metal crate?" And I said, "I actually have one in the back of my truck." So you just never know. Anything like that, something you're getting rid of, maybe you had an animal pass away or you're moving and you have some supplies, you never know. The shelter might need that, and it might help the fosters.
And that is a lead into another way to help the shelter. They very often will post on Facebook shelter needs. And so we talked to Jay last week, the Kennel Tech, about their different needs. They very often need wet food, so canned food for the cats and dogs, and especially puppy food. And they always need cleaning supplies. I mean, they have to clean and scrub every single day. You can imagine a shelter. We have over 100 dogs, and I don't even know how many cats right now. They've got the cats. I'm there pulling dogs so much that I rarely go in the cat room, but they've actually moved to where they've got 2 cat rooms now. They've got so many cats. So anything you can do to help clean or help send some cleaning products, that would be amazing. Jay did say last week, if you recall, that they do have enough blankets and sheets and things like that right now. So maybe donate those to a nonprofit that can help people, or donate if they're in good shape to a thrift store or something like that. But if you do want to bring them to the shelter, they have a space where they can store them, and they do appreciate it. They just have a lot of those kinds of items right now. So, but check their Facebook page so that you can see what their needs are.
Yeah, the need. I mean, pretty much anything you think of that's related to animals, if you have it, or can buy it, then they probably need it.
And people often ask me, they'll say that their dog passed away, or they bought a dog food and it wasn't the correct food, and they opened it and they're like, I'm assuming the shelter won't take it. The shelter will take open bags of dog and cat food. So if you've got it at your home and you need to get rid of it, take it to the shelter. And if you can't find anybody when you're at the shelter, they have a picnic table that's along the side, that's right by their side door where you park. You can leave everything on that picnic table, and if you want to let them know it's there, you can go into the office, or if you just simply want to do a quick drop-off, that is totally fine, because they've got a spot for it.
Please don't leave puppies or kittens sitting on it.
No, that's
though,
not
'cause
what you put on the picnic table.
Yes,
Please
'cause we've had
don't do that.
Please don't do that.
But speaking of puppies and kittens, we also need help fostering. So we've got a foster to adopt program at the shelter that Jonathan this morning, I think he had not even known that it existed, but you can foster a dog or a cat and make sure it fits in your household before you commit to adopting it. And again, we talked about that last week with Jay. I've seen it work so often with people. They're not positive that the dog's right for their household, and they take it home and it's perfect. Or sometimes people will take a dog home and realize that it's not right for their situation. Maybe the dog likes chickens too much and they've got chickens. There are all kinds of things, and that will make it to where it's actually not a bad thing for the dog. The dog gets a little bit of time outside of the shelter. We get more information about the dog that we can give to the next person who might want to adopt or rescue. And so that's totally fine if you foster and you decide not to adopt, but that is a program the shelter has.
And maybe you could even find one that you think is just an amazing dog and take it home and then market it like crazy. And maybe you find somebody for it. We've had to do that. We found dogs that we said, you know what, this dog does not need to be in here. It's got to find a home. It's losing its mind, and taking it. And Tara just got a text, 2 weeks ago about Sadie.
We had a dog a year ago that we pulled from the shelter that didn't look like she was going to be able to find a home sitting in the shelter, and we found a couple through Facebook that we didn't even know.
And they love her.
That saw our post. They were friends of somebody that was friends of ours on Facebook, and they came and met her, and they just sent us all kinds of pictures of how excited they are to have had her the last year. So it can be quite successful. And that's a situation of fostering, not to plan on adopting, but you can foster dogs from the shelter, adult dogs, puppies, anything. And that is a way to help find homes for them.
Yeah.
And you can do
There's
doggy
so
day
much
outs
to
too.
do.
You can take a dog out for a day or for 2 hours and go take them for a pup cup. Or we've got lots of volunteers that do that regularly, and we get some of the cutest pictures of them in a home setting, or drinking their pup cup, or going to Pelicans also has pup cups there. So it's not just going to Starbucks. So you've got all kinds of places that you can take a dog around here. Civil Ward Trail, we were able to have that event with the Parks and Rec, and we got some great pictures, great exposure for those dogs out there at Civil Ward.
Yeah, just think about if you had to stay in a cage all the time, and how dogs in a backyard would get the zoomies and just lose around. They don't have the ability to do that, so anytime they can get out is helpful.
But one other thing that we want to discuss before we go today is fostering puppies. So you can do that through the shelter or through Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill. We have rescues in Florida. We have rescues up north, one in New Jersey, that we foster puppies. So it's so important to get puppies out of a shelter. A shelter, they do such a good job there. They work so hard, but puppies don't thrive in shelter situations. That's a stressful place. There's always the chance that they could get some sort of disease. So it's good if we can get them out of the shelter. So we've got a very small network of fosters that will foster puppies. Here's a picture. Jonathan and I fortunately have a spot in our garage that we could set up. So Jonathan got out there with his nephew and built all of that to put a foster puppy in.
We've had 85 puppies go through there now.
And we're not doing enough. So it's, but we've got, you don't have to have a special setup like we have here. We have a lot of people that have rooms in their homes. You can put a tarp down, and we have all the supplies. So Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill supplies everything for you. We were just fortunate enough to have this spot. St. Hubert's, the rescue in New Jersey, actually donated some of their old kennels to Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill. So we were able to utilize those, some at the shelter, some in our foster situation. So we were able to build a kennel in our garage. It's very much like the shelter. So, and Pistachio could come there someday. She needs to be adopted. But there's our 2 puppies that we have right now that someone found in the community, posted on Facebook yesterday. Our kennel was open. So Jonathan and I have these 2 babies right now. And let's talk about what it takes to foster puppies, Jonathan, because these 2 are going to Florida. These are not available for adoption. They are heading to Florida. Yes. She's a nut, but let's talk about things that you have to do in order to adopt.
That's Mamie.
Or in order to foster and
I
get them
think
to
it's
a rescue.
amazing. Tara finds me quite often just out playing with puppies. That I think in life you get very little opportunity to just hold and love a puppy. And so if you get to foster puppies, people say, oh, I wouldn't be able to let them go. You would. And then that's Alejandro.
He was from the shelter. So we actually have 3 right now. We have 2 that are going to Florida. And then this little pup has been at the shelter since the beginning of the month. And he was by himself. So we thought it'd be good to bring him and get him out of the shelter situation and hopefully find one of our rescues that will take him as a single pup also. But like Jonathan said, it's fun to have puppies at your house because these are puppies we don't have to train. All we have to do is love them and feed them and keep them from getting sick, and then get them to rescue. And we get the fun part, some of the fun part of having puppies at the house. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but
Yeah.
I mean, you get to see them go to a home and you know they're going to survive and do great. And so it's the joy is there. It doesn't take a lot of time every day, and boy, the love that they show you and to see the difference it makes in their life, because they're not going anywhere otherwise, and so you don't want to see them grow up in a shelter.
And all 3 of these dogs were picked up off the street, so who knows what would have happened to them if they had not been picked up by 2 by someone in our community and 1 by the shelter. The shelter manager, I believe, found this pup on the side of the road. So it's a very fulfilling thing to be able to foster, but we need more fosters. Like we said, it's a lot of work. I mean, you have to have a nice, clean, sterile place in your house because you want to keep them from getting parvo. It's a lot of cleaning, of course, and a lot of being super careful. You can't just have the puppy running around in your yard and your house all the time. You've got to quarantine them for a while until they've had their shots, but they are, it is a very fun thing. And people ask, are we always sad when they leave? I've never been sad when a puppy leaves. We love having them, but it is so nice to see them. These puppies usually will go either on a transport by van or they will go on a flight. And so we very often are at the Sylacauga Airport. And there's a wonderful network of pilots.
Yeah, it's amazing. We go to the airport and it's different every time almost.
Yeah.
Somebody new, and they just throw them in the plane.
They have their
fly 'em
private
somewhere.
planes, and they stick those dogs in there and fly them to different areas so they can eventually get to Florida for those particular flights. But please contact us at Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill if you're interested in fostering. Like I said, we can help more puppies if we have more fosters. And I'm sure a lot of people do get foster fatigue and want to take a little bit of break from fostering. So if we had enough people in our network, we could do that. But think about it. Think long and hard. And if you would like to foster, then contact us and we'll be able to explain it to you more. And you have all of the supplies provided. You do not have to provide a single thing other than the space and the time. So yeah, hopefully we can get some more fosters.
The need is overwhelming, I can tell you that. We can't keep up. We roll from one pup, the puppies leave, and we paint the facility, and we're ready to go and clean it up and sterilize, and then usually within a day or 2, we have puppies coming right back in. I mean, it rolls like that. It would be so nice if we had other people taking some of these also.
So we've given you lots of different ways that you can help the animal community in there, and then there are more than what we've mentioned. But please think about ways if this speaks to you and you want to help the shelter or help Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill, or if you just have more questions about ways that you can help. But think about if animals are not your thing, we have so many ways to give back to the community. You may be sitting there thinking of 50 different organizations that you would like to help. But that's what's important. That's what keeps a community strong, is support from the community members. And regardless of whether it's the shelter or if it's Feral Dogs of Avondale Mill, think of ways that you can give back.
That's what I'm trying to teach my pickleball kids. And we always talk about my pickleball, but I mean, these kids, we've talked about how they are going to be in the community and they're going to be giving back, and we're actually seeing that with these kids. Now we put up the Christmas tree
they
and
came
they're
to
starting to
help.
show up, and if you teach kids that it's important to participate in a community, then they turn into amazing adults.
Absolutely. So we hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and also think about ways that you can help, and come and walk with us. It's a lot of fun, and you can meet Pistachio, our pet of the week, who's available for adoption. So help us find her a home, and so she can have a home for Christmas. That'd be wonderful.
That'd be great.
And thank you for joining us today. We will have more Daybreak after these messages.